All right, it's time to put away Babes in Toyland and get into Fading Suns. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fading Suns on Thursday night on the Ulysses International channel. I am JM, your GM, and this is the crew of the Oh Boy. We will be journeying through a lot of things tonight. First of all, let me just say welcome to everyone in chat. Welcome to all of my lovely members of the Oh Boy. It is good to see you all again. We are back to our regular scheduled episodes, and but without any more ado, we'll just jump right in to where we are starting. Somewhere on the planet of Lemon Canaan, there is joy. There are children laughing, unaware of sacrifices and battles that happen this day. Calypso, dark dreams, fluid and violent, plague your restless sleep. Somewhere, a knight errant kneels before the Duchess Hawkwood, reporting on why his treachery was only apparent and the planet was saved. Thou, impossible realities pull you back despite your best efforts to ignore them. Somewhere, scientists slap each other on the back, saved from deadly fates by strangers sent from the stars. But here, in a small villa, a small ship, joy is absent. It's the sounds that bring you back out of your fugue. The sounds of your heartbeat. The sounds of Gregor working on the ship. The sounds of soft beads of liquid splattering against a marble floor. The sounds of Jexa tinkering away at something. The sounds of sobs. Sounds of sobs. It's the reality of the world that comes rushing back in. Calypso, your eyes snap open and take in your bunk. Val, yours snap open to take in the sight of Falcosis and the grieving Lady Lucia. What happened? A trilling voice asks with a laugh. What happened? A voice chokes out between sobs. And your voice and hers answer in unison. I do not know. We'll start with you, Val. You asked, what happened? And Lucia looks up to you with red-rimmed eyes, tears pouring down her face. I do not know.
Okay. I'm gonna... Christ. Okay. I'm going to call Gemma. Gemma, I need you to come in here, please. I'll give her directions for how to get to the suite.
Now, Gemma, you were on the Oh Boy, yes. Okay, so your squawker calls, Val's calling you. Calypso, you wake up and you pretty sure you had the weirdest dream. And you definitely heard Azazel ask you as you wake up what happened. But that voice kind of shifts into, what do you mean you don't know? I was just asking if you want breakfast. If you don't want breakfast, and Gregor is standing kind of in the doorway, and he's got his arms still in a splint from whatever happened when he was kidnapped. If you remember, he was kidnapped 3 sessions ago and was recovered. I mean, yeah, no, I can, if you don't want breakfast, I could definitely, bring you something else. We're almost ready to go to Hargard, I think is what Gemma said we were going to next.
Wait, are you asking me if I want breakfast?
I mean, yeah, we saved the day, we saved the ship, nothing's blowing up today. So I figured, it's a good time for breakfast.
I don't know. I think I feel sick. I think maybe we should table our breakfast plans.
A lot passes over Gregor's face, like concern, brief freak out that his fiance woke up feeling sick, then kind of chuckling at the fact that you said table your breakfast plans. Like there's just the whole gamut of emotions. And he's like, oh, right. Well, I mean, Jex and I will get, don't you worry. Captain, ship will be, oh boy will be back to being the oh boy and not the painted lady or whatever. We rejiggered the transponder to be here before we leave Lemminkind. And I'll, if you need anything, you just, you let me know.
Okay.
Jex and I are going to be below decks, like in the ship. We got to fix some stuff. So.
Okay. I'm just gonna sit for a second.
All right, Gemma, you get the call from Val. What do you do?
Sure, Val. I mean, is it something technical? Do you need me to grab Jexa?
No. No. Just meet me here. Don't. Just come alone for now, please.
Okay. She will put back on the armor she had started to take off to polish. I was pretty sure there's like pieces. And start heading towards the. Yeah.
As you kind of walk out, you see Erkel's in the mess hall, kind of sharpening that strange blade that he carries. And he looks up. Your spirit is disquiet, Gemma. Is there anything I can do to help?
I don't really know what I'm walking into, so prayers would be appreciated. Oh my gosh. Can I... Where was the switch to unhide the chapel?
The switch to unhide the chapel was at Lucia's desk, and there was also a way to access it on site.
Okay. Can I do... Is there any way to get into it when it's hidden or no?
No.
I
think it's Catamaran. Count 2 4. Catamaran. No. Okay.
That
Really? Really, DS9 right now?
Hey, come on.
I will briefly detour on my way to Val, and I will reveal, and I will just say, prayers will be welcome, and I think you might appreciate this space. And then I will book it. See if he can find anything.
If you need me, just toggle your squawker twice, 3 times if there's danger.
Sounds
and
good.
He like kind of kneels reverently before the entrance and starts praying through some of the more common jump gate cross Omega gospel prayers before like kind of purifying and preparing himself to enter this chapel. Honestly, Mars, and as you look, the lithe body with the curved horns of Azazel is sort of stretched out on one of the bulkheads. I don't know what you see in him. He's so big and lunky.
So You're not into big?
It all depends. We could do so much more.
No. I think we could do just that. Well, oh, there's no way I can get around that sentence. We are good. We are good. We are good right that course on that specific front.
Did I hear the dull one say that you're planning to go to Hargard?
Yes. Gregor said he has a name.
Listen,
Said that.
there
Yes.
are billions. And he turns and looks at you, and like you notice again that his eyes are black, but have kind of, you can see like shooting stars and like nebulous swirls kind of in the depths of his black eyes. And he fixes you with just this potent gaze. And only one, maybe two in a trillion of you are actually worth the effort of talking to. So you'll forgive me if whatever meat sack shares your bed's name escapes me. But you, Calypso Mars, you have my undivided attention. And several debts that you need to pay off that I'm sure we will cash in when we speak again on Hargard.
Yeah, I figured as much.
I would watch your daughter, however. She stinks of crow.
Like the bird?
Yes, like maybe one less in a trillion. We'll have to wait and see. And he's gone. Like the only evidence that he is there is you can see kind of that moisture on the glass of the mirror where parts of his body were resting up against it. Gemma, you enter the villa. You follow the directions.
Yeah.
Your battle heightened senses as you get close.
Ka-thunk.
Yes. You can smell the blood in the air.
Cross myself.
You can hear the reassuring clomp of one Gemma running down the hallway.
Just gonna stand there and wait for
Gemma, as you enter the master suite of the Van Dorm estate, you kind of take in the scene before you. Val kind of just several steps in front of the door. The dampness and the wetness on the floor, the sound of the shower that has not actually been turned off in all of this time, and the bed where Lucia sits next to it holding the pale hand of a dead Falcosis. The blood that just has soaked the sheets that's starting to now drip onto the marble floor.
Gemma will go straight to battle order. So she will kind of survey the scene, take in what's going on. She'll put a hand on Val's shoulder and kind of whisper in her ear, why don't you go take care of the shower? Maybe find Lucia some clothes. And then she will gingerly approach the bed and try and gauge how Lucia is doing. Does it look like Lucia is ready to pounce, or does Lucia just look completely defeated?
Lucia looks like she is in a very febrile state. That like she is a string that has been stretched to the point of breaking, and you don't know yet whether it's going to snap back violently or snap in half.
And remind me, what was the name of the servant?
The major domo.
Mm-hmm. I don't have it in front of me.
I don't have my notes in front of me.
I will, when Val gets back from the bathroom with like a robe, the next thing Gemma will ask Val to find the domo to start brewing some tea, and to bring as many clean towels, etc., as he can. She's not going to ask Val not to tell him what's going on or have him come in the room, but just kind of bring some supplies. And then Gemma's going to walk up to Lucia and kind of kneel down on the same side as her, attempt to not kneel in some blood, and just make eye contact and say Lucia, and see if she responds at all.
She kind of turns and focuses right on you. Who did this?
I don't know. We thought we had taken care of anyone who would want to harm you or your family at the wall. We will figure it out, but for now, can we reposition him so that he is not kind of, look, I'm not moving him anywhere. I just want to make him more comfortable.
Maddie.
No.
I would like you to.
Doing something I'm not good at.
I would like you to give me I will let you do an intuition or a perception roll plus empathy.
Empathy?
Empathy. You got at least 3 points in it.
Right.
While you look at this, I'm going to jump over to Val. So Val, did you go out and do all of that?
Yeah. On my way out of the room, I think last time you said that Falcosis's jacket and stuff was like thrown over a chair on the way into the room.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just check his pockets on the way out?
You grab the jacket. Yeah, so as you kind of get out, you kind of take the jacket. There is something that crackles as you grab the left pocket, and then you feel something very familiar kind of around that, like something solid in the center of it.
Take them both out. What's the crackle?
There's a letter that has been folded in half, and as you kind of open it, your locket is resting right there.
Is the letter addressed to anybody, or?
It just has a small black bird, kind of hand drawn, like not like a sparrow, like a small, like you've seen them flittering around all over Lemminkainen. You know them, you know. The Tikal, it's a small little bird that's native to this planet. They are known for being a sweet singing voice. They make pretty good pets because they're intelligent. Like everyone on Lemminkainen at some point has had maybe like a semi-pet. And you know that they also tend to steal shiny things and hoard them in the nests of other birds that they take over.
Okay. Yeah, I'll put that in my pocket and go find the major domo. I'm not gonna tell him what's going on yet. I'm just gonna ask for tea and some.
When
like,
you walk in,
plate
he's in the dining room, and again, he has like there's a thick plush piece of fabric that has been unrolled, and it looks like he has cleaned about 6 guns, and he is currently working on reassembling a combat shotgun. Oh, Lady Val, I'm sorry. Old habits die hard, and my hands find this to be a calming exercise, much like knitting, where the hands are occupied and the mind is left to ponder. What can I do for you?
Would it be possible to get some tea?
Yes. Oh, Tia, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm just the tea.
Of course. Can you give me 7 minutes?
Yeah. Would you mind just dropping it off at the door to Lucia's rooms, if you wouldn't mind? I'm sorry to interrupt your.
No. This is a comfort from a past life. And he kind of turns and he's like, do not remember, or do not forget, rather, the Van Dorn motto, that even in the darkness of space, light shines. He kind of bows and turns and goes to make you tea.
I will head back. Yeah, I'll just head back to Gemma and Lucia.
Gemma, what did you make? And then we'll jump over to Calypso.
I succeeded with a 14.
Okay. You will need to spend 8 to overcome this resistance because Lucia is a very private person.
I'll spend the 8.
Okay. As you look at her, you can see when you said, hey, I'm not going to reposition him, I'm just going to try and make him more comfortable, that her eyes go flat, like completely dead. And you are left wondering, was the Lucia that you knew, the bubbling, the vibrant, the welcoming Lucia, was that a mask? Or is she reverting back to a previous rut in her soul? She's like, she looks down, she gives his hand one more squeeze. You know as well as I do, Gemma, his soul's with the Pan Creator. Do what you will with the body. I have business to attend to. And she stalks out of the room.
Is there any chance I don't want to interpose, like I don't want to bring whatever this is on Gemma, but I do kind of want to say, look, I will help you, but we need to go about this the right way. Whoever did this had connections, had means to circumvent. Let's be wise in how we pursue this.
This is when Val walks back in. You, Gemma, for all of your training, for all of your skill, deep down, she kind of puts her hands up and she kind of cups the left side of your face. You are a good person. In this moment, we don't need good people.
It's a good thing I'm not one.
Hello, dear. I realize we have things to talk about, but you'll forgive me if I'm not in a talking mood.
We're tabling that. What do you need?
I need answers. I need
We'll find them.
one person tied to a chair. How does Calypso call it? The bouquet of knives. That's what I need right now. Speaking of Calypso, you're on the ship. You hear the sounds like of Gregor and Jexa beneath the deck plates. Every so often you do see kind of like a concerned eye kind of looking up, not like directly under you, but from somewhere in the room as Gregor seems to be fixing a lot of things under your guys' bunk. But he's generally sort of moving about. What are you doing?
Okay, so the ship is docked, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And Jexa has left the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any particular reason for Calypso to leave the ship? Like, I don't know.
You saw Gemma. Gemma got a call, and
That's what I meant, Gemma, not Jexa. My bad.
Oh, there's no reason that, I mean, you guys, as far as you know, when you look out the windows of the Oh Boy, you're at the Van Dorm estate. Like, you can see the little shrine to Lady Beatrice. You can see the Van Dorm estate. You can hear the sound of the sea. Like, you're parked there. You don't remember how you got here. You definitely remember the freeing of the scientists, the big battle, the decision to split the crew up into the assault team and the distraction team. And you distinctly remember being like, I'm going to be part of the assault team. I'm going to put a bullet in Tag's head.
Uh-huh.
And then waking up refreshed in your quarters. You have no memory from going with the assault team to waking up in your quarters. Yes.
Okay. I say she would get out of the ship, and she would go towards the cliff that onlooks the ocean, because it's kind of like a the waves are like a hypnosis of because she's just like, okay, they're putzing around there, and not my place, and also something just doesn't feel right, and so she's gonna go like just to stare at the waves and just be like, okay, I was here. Like, she's gonna try to retrace, but she'll get stopped every time.
Yeah, as you kind of try to remember it. It definitely feels. You remember getting in the car in Hadrian's Wall with Jexa and Perpetua and waiting for Gemma. Gemma found something religious under Hadrian's Wall. And you definitely remember looking at your reflection and the tinted window of the hover vehicle and seeing Azazel, and then having this weird sensation where you were looking at yourself out of the tinted window, and then nothing. As you stand there on the cliff, you see that point where, like, you can see where the Van Dorm people have like covered the balcony, where you had the big fight with Orlaton and Tag, and you went leaping after them and then asked Azazel for help, and you came out of the picture. Like, you see that point. You and everything is sort of peaceful, and you can hear the soft, it's all grass here. So you kind of feel like the fact that you can hear someone walking up, crunching the grass as they move, they have to be doing it on purpose. And kind of, as you look behind you, you see Ercol, that guy that you picked up. Well, actually, I guess that Gemma picked up.
Yeah.
Like braided blonde beard, long blonde hair kind of flowing back, the hilt, like almost like a hand and a half hilt kind of extended over your, unlike Gemma, who is basically, a towering woman wrapped in steel and armor.
Yeah.
Ercol has, I mean, he's very tall, but he's more, lithe, and he doesn't wear armor, he wears robes. He has a less, let's just call it a less threatening presence about him. It seems as if the disquiet of the soul is plaguing many members of this crew. How are you doing, Captain Mars?
I'm fine.
Hmm.
I'll just look out at the ocean again.
I often stare off into the distance when I am fine as well. It is easier than turning my gaze inward or looking at what is around me. Do you mind if I join you?
Sure. That's fine.
He just stands there in silence, kind of standing next to you.
She's just kind of like frowny face, just kind of looking at him like,
Mm-hmm. I'm
what's
sorry,
your
it's
deal?
my deal.
Yeah.
I do not know. I thought for certain that it was my destiny to die on that planet, ending as many symbiotes as entered the span of the arc that I could circumscribe with my sword. And then, as if angels descended from the sky, there was the battle order. Do you know why most saints end up martyred?
Because they choose any second to just die for, the cause.
I cannot argue with that. It does seem like, from standing outside, looking in, that would be the easy choice. And he turns and gives you kind of a knowing smile. And if I'm honest, there's a part of me that regrets not dying on that planet, because my martyrdom would have been assured, granted one unwitnessed, but no, it is because in the furnace of the universe, when a soul is being refined, when it reaches its purest moment, that is the time that the Pancreator removes it. Once something is rarefied in fire, there's no reason to expose it more. You risk many things.
But that just takes all the good out. Why would the Pancreator just want to take all the good out?
If I knew that, I would probably be further along the path like Gemma. I do not know, but I have a theory. Would you like to hear it?
Sure.
There are some, myself included when I was young, if I'm being completely transparent, who saw the lives of the saints as indictments against my own life. People in the church saying, why can't you be more like St. Paulus? Do you know what St. Paulus did and what he sacrificed? Oh, why can't you be more like Sister so-and-so, and all of the names that we were forced to memorize, or, listen to while we doodled on our tablets. It is easy to get children to listen to the stories and behave the way adults want them to by using the saints as rules and measures to beat us with until we conform to the path. But after getting to know Gemma, I think the real purpose is saints are signposts. I don't believe if we were standing in the presence of any saint, possibly Gemma included, that they would pity us or judge us or hold us in condemnation. They would merely say, look at where you are and look where you could be. They'd run ahead of us to encourage us to step into the sun and run after them. And that's the beauty of light. No matter how far we are in the cave, it's never too late to turn around and step back into it. But I ramble. The universe possesses as many centers as it does people, for we all stand at the center of our own story.
I've always felt that the closer you stand to the light, the greater your shadow becomes.
That is the truth of existence, Captain Mars. I do not claim to understand or have any special insight into the Pan-Creator's mind or purpose. I, in moments of supreme arrogance, look at the way the universe is and go, well, if I were the Pan-Creator, I would change. And he kind of looks at you and you chuckle. Right? We would all come up with a list of things we would change. Free will probably being the most horrible idea in the history of the universe.
Probably.
If the scriptures are correct, and if lives like Gemma, Beatrice, serve as signposts, then perhaps we're asking the wrong question. Not what would we get rid of, but if this is the way, then what do we do with what we have? If you don't mind, I'm going to pause here and jump back over. Val and Gemma, I want answers. I want blood. I want to know. I want to know who did this to my precious Takal.
Do you have a security system? Do you have cameras we could see who came through the hallways? We need to retrace his steps.
I will go speak. I will go speak with my people. I know that they were knocked out during the initial attack when Gregor was taken, when I was taken. But there is a chance that it has come back online.
I'll try to figure out. I'll look for any signs that might be left. I'll look for any evidence. Try to figure out if this happened here or in the hallway.
My thanks to both of you for dealing with. And she kind of half glances to the bed with the body. And she
Demission.
What?
Demission.
Demission. I knew Maddie's notes would save the day. I want that on a t-shirt. Like
Maddie's notes will save the day.
that's right.
do we have access to any, like, I don't want to go like full CSI, but like any kind of recording device? Set you up for that. To snap some images of where, because essentially I'm going to move him and I want to pull the knife out and examine it, but I just want to get a picture before I do.
Your personal comm devices can do that.
Okay. So I will offer Valen out if she does not want to help, because I don't actually know how many dead bodies or crime scenes Val has had to clean up before. And she will carefully snap some photos, remove the knife, set it aside, like careful to not disrupt any fingerprints or anything along those lines. And then work on positioning him so she can like clean up the mess, but also kind of leave him in the bed in like resting in state, I guess. So like slowly trying to clean up, leave him in a place of respect.
Okay.
While she's doing that, I want to kind of, I guess for want of a better term, examine the crime scene. See if I can find any footprints, any indication that he was stabbed here after he got into the room, or if he was already hurt when he was stumbling in.
Well, I like before we, I'm always willing to give free information before rolls are made, because you guys are observant and you're asking good questions. He was obviously killed here.
Okay.
The only blood is on the bed and what has dripped down from the soaked sheets. So he is like, it is very clear from like where his coat was placed, his jacket was placed. You can see that your guess is that he turned on the water in the shower, came out, took off his boots, and at some point was attacked.
If when we pull out the knife gingerly, do we recognize the blade?
The blade is just Val has seen more than her fair share of these. A Lemminkainen switch is basically a switchblade that is a stiletto. So it comes down that a lot of thugs and punks on the street love them because they spring out with such force that if you just press them against somebody's body and hit the button, it will extend all the way in as long as it doesn't hit bone. So it's a local weapon.
Okay, so I wouldn't. It's sold here. It's not.
No, this is like every world has their own idiosyncrasies, has their own.
Okay. Are there any footprints, maybe something tracking through the blood that didn't belong to one of the three of us? Any mud tracked in?
All right, that I will need a perception plus.
Observe?
Observe, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I was reading a lot of Tord today, so I was like, and find. Wait, no.
Wrong system.
Addie, what are you? So you take the blade out, kind of gingerly rolling over the body. What you initially see is one, Falcosis's face is not. You would normally expect someone who has died a violent death to kind of have shock or dismay on his face. He seems very peaceful in repose. But you can also see, as you get closer, you can actually see what seems to be a handprint on his left arm. And while you can see the wound that killed him was a stab to the center of his throat, It does look like someone has, the reason there's so much blood on the sheets is between that and then somebody has actually carved something into his chest.
I will gingerly try and
Kind of,
expose what was carved. Yeah.
it is a 1/4 crescent line bisected by 2 other lines. It's the same sign you saw on Tag's armor. It's the same sign you saw tattooed on the back of Orlaton. It's the same sign that Val saw tattooed on the back, freshly tattooed on the back of the person who stole Gregor.
So it's the symbol of the curse of the abandoned.
The cult of the abandoned, yeah.
Abandoned. Okay. I will make a note. I will show Val. And then Gemma will just spend the rest of the time cleaning up. So using whatever towels are around, whatever sheets are around, mopping up blood. I'm sure she will be covered in it by the time this is over. She's not really paying attention to that. She's just trying to clean everything up, possibly clean him up.
As you're cleaning up, you can see that when you kind of rub on that handprint on his arm, it kind of flakes free. Give me a Wits plus Remedy roll. I know it's not great for Gemma, but you're the one in the situation.
Gemma, do you want a weird point?
Sure. I'll have taken a picture of the handprint before I clean it up. Wits plus Remedy.
And then JM, so my observe rolls are favorable because of keen awareness. So I rolled one, which was a 20, and the other, which was a 14.
Which
so
is a crit.
Critical success.
So you get a weird point. As you look around, you get down on the ground. You really start looking at, like, it's almost as if your brain doesn't want to look at the bed, so it's hyper focusing on everything else in the room. And you see a scuff mark on the marble, as if something metal scraped the stone. And as you kind of step back and you kind of look at it, you can see there's several other ones kind of leading in and out. And if you don't mind, with a critical success, as you kind of follow it into the hallway, you can see there are several places in the carpet that have retained, now that you know what you're looking for, an imprint. You know what it is. It's the mag boot. It's the mag boot that, I mean, there's several on the Oh Boy. They're usually used for EVA, when you put on a spacesuit so that you stick to the side of the ship. But you do know that a lot of people who spend a lot of time on ships just wear them all the time, because if gravity goes out, you don't have to find them. It just kind of becomes second nature. And you can see what scraped the stone is the mag plate that runs down the center of the boot. They always tend to, like, they're flush with the rubber, so you know it gives kind of the clanging noise when you're walking on the ship as the boot is connecting. But it's definitely someone who either is very familiar with space, has access to spacesuits, or was planning to get off-world. This is not like, people who never leave Lemminkainen, like, you don't wear mag boots because you've never left Lemminkainen until just recently. So you still wear kind of the soft leather boots that they're kind of ubiquitous, kind of just pervasive across. This is somebody who definitely either was off-world or is planning to go off-world.
Okay.
And you can kind of track it, but eventually, you know, the tracks just sort of fade.
Do they lead outside before I lose them?
They definitely lead outside, and they lead outside to kind of in the direction of where, remember on the Van Dorm estate, there's several places where ships of different size can land. They lead towards one of the places where like a short range hopper would be able to land.
Okay. So Falcosis came back to the Van Dorm estate on a ship.
Mm-hmm.
Did we put him on the stealth ship, or was he on a hopper when he came back?
It was on a hopper when he came back.
Can I track down where his ship that he came in on landed?
You know, you actually know someone who makes it their business to know what's going on in this part of the city.
Do I?
You do. Your old pal Lenny.
I was so afraid you were gonna say that.
You know where he's at, but you also see, you can see the two shadows because the sun is starting to set, and you can see two shadows standing on the cliff edge, kind of talking to each other. One is kind of wreathed in the golden reddish light of the sunset, kind of looks like it's setting his beard and hair on fire, and next to him is Calypso.
I have one last question related to the ship. Where did Falcosis get the ship from? Did he take the hopper from the Oh Boy, or did he pick what? Where did he get the ship?
You guys met up with, remember when you were dispersing out, you kind of, you sent him and several of the scientists back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I will head towards Calypso.
All right. Gemma, what'd you get?
I succeeded with a 12. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, I succeeded with
So
a
this
12.
would only be 6 for you. Like you can spend 6. Here's the thing, Gemma. The smell finally makes sense. Why you're able to wipe it away? That's like the first 4 layers of someone's skin. It's almost as if someone touched something incredibly hot and left layers of flesh behind when they grabbed Falcosis' arm.
Is there something under his coat? Like on his...
No, he took his jacket off. Like it was on the bare flesh of his arm.
Does he wear any Beatrice paraphernalia? Like, does he have a saint's medal or her symbol?
Yeah, well, I mean, you see it as you kind of root around. You can see kind of the callus on his neck from wearing something, and you find it under the bed where it looks like it's snapped pretty recently. And yeah, it is a medallion of Saint Beatrice.
Okay. Yeah, so I will take however long it needs to be to like examine this and then position him kind of at rest with the medal kind of like hanging over his hand, kind of setting him up in state.
Yeah, no.
As best I can, and then just spend the time cleaning.
Okay.
And I will calm Val and I'll say, hey, because Val's wandered off. It looks like someone in it with the left hand.
No, it would have been a right hand because it grabbed the left arm.
We're looking someone with a pretty severely burnt right hand. So keep that in mind as you're looking for other clues. They somehow burnt themselves on him. I don't quite know how that works, but
good to know. Looks like they left in a ship, so I have a guy I can call. See if we can track the ship down.
All right, as you're walking up, we're going to jump back to Calypso and Ericole.
Hello.
Hello.
I honestly He dropped like profound knowledge on Calypso, and she promptly like brain burst, like couldn't comprehend. Yeah. She's gonna straight up just kind of turn to him and be like, "How did we get here?"
Here, or
Hi, Hank. Yes. No. No. I'm sorry. No. Back away from the philosophical conversation. How did we physically get to this location?
After the distraction, we were picked up, and by we I mean Perpetua and the others in the assault team. We made our way out to rendezvous with the oh boy, and we arrived here, and you walked on the ship after we landed and went straight into your quarters and I believe passed out. You made a comment about my donkey, but I do not believe I have a donkey. I do not understand at the time.
Okay. I'm sure that wasn't a euphemism. Okay, so you like remember all of that.
Do you not?
No.
He kind of, may I try something?
What?
And he kind of reaches into his pocket. He like he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a small knife. He sort of holds it like on the tips of his fingers, kind of balanced, and starts manipulating the knife through his hands. It's like, watch the sunset. Watch the light on the edge of the blade. Watch it play out. Watch it. Just focus on it, and the sound of my voice, and the sound of the waves. Could you give me, if you want to follow what he's doing, what I'd like you to do is give me give me a will plus focus roll, Calypso.
Okay. Well, I just realized I have a dog on my leg and I have no dice. Can you roll and let me know what you get?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll tell you if it succeeds.
I got a 7.
Yeah, that succeeds.
Okay. Well, you get this really, like, as you focus, you can see the light, the waves are crashing, and everything collapses around you until there's just this weaving edge of fire that you're staring at, the light reflecting off just the edge of the blade. And you hear him ask, Calypso, what happened after you left the oh boy before you returned to it? And there's this, you can feel like there is this resistance. You open your mouth to speak, and it's almost as if you can feel like an ethereal hand close itself over your mouth, and you hear the voice ask again with a little bit more purpose, and finally it's that you hear, in the name of the pen creator, you will speak. And the hand just goes away, and it all kind of comes rushing back. You saw yourself in the reflection. You saw yourself drive off after dropping off Gemma Philosophia.
And the squad.
And knowing, like, you can feel yourself kind of banging against the glass at yourself, and you kind of, yourself looks at you and gives you, the smirk she gives you.
Oh boy.
That almost perfect kind of And you drive all the way out of the desert into the city of hold on, I have notes. Normally I wouldn't share the looking up of notes, but this is part of for the show. You drive into Hakonen, and you drive to a small abandoned parking lot where a small short-range hopper lands, and this person in black robes, and you can see they have a symbol on their chest that actually incites a bit of rage in you, almost as if
Oh boy.
As if you're not you in the reflection, but you can feel kind of the revulsion in your body of like you're doing something necessary but very distasteful. And the person kind of comes out, right hand just charred all the way from fingertip to wrist. Is it upset? And you hear your own voice. Yes, but this makes us even. And then the game begins anew. Fine, whatever. The deed is done. I need to be off of this planet now. You have procured escape? Of course. I am not as inept as you are. And the person gets in the seat, and you drive, not you, again, you kind of pounding on the glass of the window, watch yourself drive him to the spaceport. He's like, this one took some doing, but I managed to remind you of who saved you here. And you can see as you pull up to a small ship, it's called the Ram's Horn. The person gets out, spits in the seat next to you. You better get back. You better get off planet. Saints don't like it when our kind interfere. And this person kind of hisses at you. In your memory, you can't make out their features, but you clearly see the charred hand and the crescent bisected by two lines. The next time I see you, yes, we would make threats about killing each other, but we both know that doesn't happen. Very well. Till next time then, brother. And the person gets out of the door or the car, slams the door, and joins a queue of people getting on the Ram's Horn. Now, you got a 7. Do you want to spend, can you spend 8? Do you have one more point in your pool that you could spend? Can you surge?
I can surge. Yeah, I can surge.
All right. You clearly remember, even though it's almost like a dream state, so you can't read anything. You don't know what's going on. You have this sense that you were at the spaceport, but you kind of really focus, and you hear Ercol's voice. Focus now, Mars. Focus. What else do you see? And as you look, you kind of, it's weird because as you shift your vision to the mirror on the side, suddenly you're in the mirror and you look up and you can see restricted space, authorized personnel only, have your passports ready, destination, Hargard.
Oh. I have questions.
Sure, hit me.
Okay. So when I was watching, when Calypso's watching herself, she's driving this person.
Mm-hmm.
Is she communicating? Is she the one who talked to him too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it wasn't But it wasn't her. It was probably, I'm assuming, Azazel.
Assuming Azazel is probably at this point is probably a really safe assumption.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm shook. Okay.
Ercol Ercol kind of, okay, Calypso, Captain Mark, he like grabs you as you sort of stumble, and you can feel a bit of the cliff kind of gives out under your feet, and he kind of grabs you and sets you.
Ooh.
Oh. And the knife goes falling off. Just you can, as you kind of watch it, it sort of tumbles down hundreds of feet before disappearing into the bay. Oh, Val. What? And you can see Ercol is sort of holding Calypso. Like, it looks like Calypso stumbled in the middle of a discussion and almost fell off the cliff, and he grabbed her.
What's going on here?
I
Actually,
tripped.
table that. Calypso, I need to talk to you. Ercol, could you give us a minute?
If you take as many as you need, I will go see how Gregor and Jexa are doing. And he turns around and he kind of looks back at you, and he's like, well done, Calypso. Takes a stronger will than you know to break through. And then he turns and he walks off.
She so badly wants to walk away right now. Hold on. Just one clarification. The other had the charred hand, right? Not
Yes.
Calypso.
Calypso
Okay.
does not have a charred hand. Her
Okay.
hands are, I don't want to say clean, but her hands are not charred.
Directly responsible. Okay.
You okay?
I just, it's an adrenaline rush, nearly plummeting to your death again.
Right.
I just feel a little sick from it. Are you okay?
I think we should move away from the cliff for this.
Okay.
Just,
Okay.
can we go find like a rock or a tree stump or a bench or something to sit on? Is there one of those things around?
Of course.
Okay. Go find a rock to sit on.
That's not a rock. Or wait, that's not a boulder. It's a rock.
Rock. I need to tell you something.
Uh-huh.
So remember how we're working on how I deliver bad news?
Uh-huh.
So I don't actually know how to deliver bad news well. So I'm just gonna... There's no good way to say this. Okay, Falcosis is dead.
Oh.
Somebody killed him. They left on a ship. I don't know. They left on a hopper. I'm gonna try to track it down. There is the symbol of the abandoned and this charred handprint on his arm, and I don't know. We need to... I don't know.
Uh-huh. I don't know either. I need to go for a walk. I need to process this.
Is insight a thing at all in this game?
I mean, if you would like to drop a bunch of dice on the floor like I did. just pick up a book with a bunch of dice on it. Yes, if you would like to give me a intuition plus empathy roll, it won't tell you like it won't give you insight, but it
No,
will
just
allow you to kind of
something seems
read
off.
Calypso's emotions. Yeah.
Yeah. Intuition and empathy.
Yes.
I succeed with a 2.
Calypso, what is your mental resistance?
My mental resistance is an 8. It's really high.
I do have VP in the bank I can spend.
So how much do you want to spend? And then Calypso gets a chance to say, I need my dice, sorry. I am increasing my resistance to block you, and then it's just like an attack roll. So you say how much are you spending initially? You have to spend at least 8 to overcome Calypso's mental resistance.
I'll start with 8.
Calypso, do you want to? You can tell Val is like
Giving you the look.
I'm contemplating as I slowly eat chicken tendies.
I'm like, I will say Val doesn't look like hostile. She just looks a little confused by Calypso's reactions. She's just like, this doesn't. I just told you that your father-in-law's dead and you are gonna go for a walk. I'm confused. It's confusion, not hostility.
She won't raise. So her mental state is confused and panicked and scared.
Is something else going on here?
Why, yes, I am eating chicken tenders, and I'm using the worst times to eat them. She's gonna turn and shake her head no, I'm really overwhelmed. I don't know how to bring this up to Gregor, and I don't know how to I just need a fucking moment.
I think we could all use a moment, but as far as Gregor is concerned, maybe it would be best if I told him since I've known him longer. And Val turns around and stalks off, going to go find Gregor. Because Falcosus was pretty much her dad, and no one's checking on her.
Sorry, I'm literally knee-deep in blood.
Knee-deep in blood.
Well, Calypso's about to have a conversation with a demon, so she doesn't want to have any conversations with anybody else until that's done.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start with Maddie. We'll go to Val. We'll end with Lee, and we'll see where we're at. So, Gemma, what's up?
So, while not a priest, Gemma was trained by the order, and so I'm assuming she knows some kind of basic rite and probably has some small amount of some sort of unction on her. For those, I would like to think
you're a battle order, which means you are not only do you deal death, but you deal absolution.
So she will do her best to at least clean her hands. I'm assuming there's gonna have to be
I mean, the shower's still going on, so you can go in the restroom.
No, I turned that off.
Oh, you did? Okay.
You don't waste water here, Jam. She'll do her best to clean her hands. I mean, once you get it's just, yeah. And she will perform some kind of last rites.
Okay.
Probably modifying it to include some of that litany that she has created for Beatrice. Kind of putting to, I mean, I know her wits are only 4, but she's no dummy. And putting together that maybe the burn had something to do with that connection of light. So.
Well, and also don't forget, 3 is like baseline. So like at 4 or 5, you're still well within average. You're not dull. You're no Jetsa.
So she will put that together. So she will thank Beatrice for that moment of protection, for the look of peace in his face, like he did not die in a terrible way, and just kind of lay him to rest in the best way that she knows possible. And then she will just go back to stripping linens, cleaning, like if Lucia ever comes back in this room, there will not be evidence of what has taken. She realizes on some level that Lucia will never set foot back in here. But if Gregor comes in, if Calypso comes in, if anyone else comes in, there will be no evidence of what took place. It will just look like he is resting.
Okay.
Kind of as her own way of offering penance for the fact that she wasn't there. Like, her guilt will come out later. She is very much in battle mode right now.
Yeah.
But her active giving back of like, I'm sorry I wasn't here. And she'll probably even say that as she's going through, like, and kind of doing her own ritual to deal with it.
It's the sudden rattling of porcelain on silver that alerts you that there's someone else in the room. And you look and you just see like Domitian, all of the blood gone for his face, and he's holding the tea. His arms are shaking. And he sets the tray down, and he kind of approaches very cautiously as you're in the middle of giving the final rites. You see he pulls a jump gate cross out from under his thing, and he just kind of stands there next to you, and he's murmuring the same words with you, and except when you kind of deviate off into the litany, he sort of continues in the standard prayers but keeps it quiet, and then joins back in with you. So this is why the lady is where she is at.
Yes.
I'm scared, Sister Gemma. Falcosis was a good man, and he turned from a port in the storm for many of us into a towering tree that sheltered us. I know that I am not the only one in this estate who wished to spend the rest of their days here. Atoning for the road of blood that brought us here. But I have seen the look in Lucia's eyes. I now understand the tone in Val's voice. I fear those two are going to pull the dam Falcosis erected in our hearts brick by brick, till the blood pours forth again.
I can't speak for Lady Lucia or for Val, but I would offer you this thought that as your Lord lays at rest, he was at peace. And I not even would like to, I would believe that he would wish that that peace remain for those who are able to keep it. So while I know that there's very little I can say to Lucia or to Val to sway them from the path that they are on, I would encourage you to continue to hold this as a bastion for others. If possible. I realize that that is a difficult task and that is a difficult mission to continue when something like this happens, but I think that would be his wish. That we don't pursue blood in his name.
I believe you are right. It will be difficult to persuade. It will be difficult to persuade much of the old crew to not follow Lucia if she calls us up. But I, for one, cherish the peace he brought into my life. And I will do my best to shield that for others. Has the Master's son been informed that he is now the lord of this estate?
I do not know. I fell into old habits and started doing what I know to do best. I know that Val left. I would assume that she is seeking to break the news. I mostly didn't want others to walk into what we had walked into, for fear of it sparking more rage and more bloodlust. I can promise you that justice will be reached if it is within my power.
Justice, but not vengeance.
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm gonna, as Domitian says he will take over standing watch as his master lies in state, we'll jump to the conversation between Calypso and the demon. You're standing there, or you walked off.
Yeah.
Where do you head?
She's walking away from the estate, mostly because she's about to raise her voice, and she's just gonna be like, "What did you do?"
Again, the young man, broad of shoulder, no shirt, right, hairless, the curling ramthorns that almost form a crown around his head, and the simple leather leggings. You now see that when he walks, he's actually leaving tarry, bloody footprints kind of behind him. What did I do? Oh, Calypso. I believe your words were, and he speaks in your voice, I will do anything if you help me fight this dragon. Let's just say I took the first little bit of anything. My sister needed a way out, and you have connections that I was able to leverage to give her corporeal vessel away off this planet. She really doesn't like what you're doing. I think it's best for you and for your daughter to just stay here and inherit this lovely estate. If you keep poking the crow, she will finally peck your eyes out. I'm far too fond of you, and I'd like to say I'm fond of what's-her-face, but we both know I would be lying. But I know you're fond of what's-her-face. Some sort of
Jexa?
atrophied maternal instinct. Yes, Jexa? Jenna? Let's be honest, all of your names are confusing, but yes. So I merely...
Okay.
I did save your life.
Okay, I'm going to stop you. Because I specifically remember saying, I would be your harbinger if you helped me save my friends. You directly impacted my friends, my family.
But your friends, as was defined by the terms of our original agreement, are safe.
No.
My sister did not do anything to them, although believe me, she really wants to.
Then why is Falcosis dead? Didn't do anything?
He looks right at you and like all emotion just goes flat. Falcosis is dead because your friends kicked over a hornet's nest. And I did what I could to protect our deal, which is why they are sacrosanct right now. If you pardon the, he kind of stretches his mouth around. Let's say instead they are safe now while they are on this planet. Here's the thing, dear, when you get involved in the war between light and dark, sacrifices are made. Whether you choose to lay down or someone else has chosen to lie down for you. Take my advice. Get out while you're still alive.
Hank.
After puppy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. You are such a fat dog. Move. Okay. So she's going to say, that's the part that I feel that you're missing. I'm damned. I'm irredeemable. I'm done. I don't give a flying frack, bork, whatever, bork. Hank, really? Stop. About me. But you mess with the... You call her... What's her face? Sorry, my dog just...
Yeah, no.
Okay, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
All right, did I lose you at all? Sorry. And we have a problem. You mess with the peoples whose lives specifically matter, that I specifically gave my own stupid self up for, and we have a problem. And you know it, because if you didn't need me, I wouldn't even be here right now.
Dear. We're getting that little echo back, so I'm gonna need you to. I, dear Captain Mars, walked away. I was blissfully tormenting others on one of these balls of dirt hurtling through space that you were so fond of. You called me back. Our original deal is that you stood out of my way and I stayed out of yours. I have cleaved, I would say, quite generously to the original terms when you violated them in exchange for temporary gain. So, if you want me gone, I can leave, but you still owe me. And the devils always collect their due. Is that what you want? Shall I leave now to only show up when I need the last of the stones on the scale to balance the debt? Believe we are one dead dragon and one cliff jump still owed.
Okay. I'm going to say this. I recognize that I needed you. And I recognize that you need me. And I don't care about your puffery or your avant-garde way of existing. You can't beat around that. So if you want to just... Oh, I want to cuss so bad. She's so mad. So if you want to just pretend as if living in my brain isn't some cush, nice area of existence, continue to lie to me. But here's the fun fact about me. I'm a liar. I'm a thief. I'm a murderer. I'm probably a serial killer. And I am psycho. And you cannot lie to me. So why don't we do this? Step back from my friends and family, and we're cool again. Okay?
He sort of begins to pull back and fade. He's like, oh, Calypso, you are all those things and more, but you've made one tiny error. I've never lied to you. You can just see the two black footprints soaking into the dirt on the estate. All right, Val.
I'm assuming I can follow the sounds of clanging and mumbling.
Oh, yeah, it's quite clear. No, Jaxa. I realize you're a journey person. Anyway, now, but your dad may have taught you a lot of things, but he never taught you this. When it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's red, we're all dead. So leave the generator where it's at. And you can hear Jexa going, fine, I'm just saying we could get it back into the green. It's never been in the green. I've tried. I honestly don't know what holds this ship together. I think maybe the captain made a deal with something. Oh, hey, Val. As you kind of walk over him, you can see him. He's like looking up at you through the grating. We ready to go?
You got a minute?
Like, for you, sure. Hold on, give me like, crap. Wait, hold on. No, I know. Give me like 2 minutes. And you can see he starts shimmying. And it takes him about 2 minutes. And he comes up and he is like, his jumpsuit is just coated in grease and like fluorescent green fluids. His tool belt is around his waist. If there has ever been a more picturesque moment of Gregorness, this is it. He's kind of, what's wrong?
Let's take a walk.
Towel just kind of falls to the floor. Where do you walk to?
Let's just go off the ship, kind of heading back towards the estate, but walking very slow.
Right, at this point, the sun is in the west. It's just the tiniest crescent of red. So to your right is the sea and kind of brilliant reds and yellows and golds. To your left, the stars are starting to come out. Val, I hate surprises. I hate bad news. So, let's just rip off the stim patch. What's going on?
Your dad,
Is he all right? Did he make it back?
no. I mean, he made it back, but he's not. Someone followed him here. Somebody from the same cult that took you. Gregor, he's dead.
Somewhere on Lemon Canyon, there's joy. Life goes on. People fall in love. People share a meal. People go to sleep. But here in this small villa, joy is absent. It's the sounds that ground us. The sounds of two hearts breaking over the loss of a shared father. The sounds of the captain stomping back to her ship. The sounds of two friends, no, family members, mourning the loss of a loved one. And that, with Gregor and Val holding on to each other as the sun sets on Lemminkind, we will wrap tonight. Next week, we will finish up possibly the epilogue of this arc and see where it goes. I realized this was a really stressful and emotional night, and I just wanted to say how much I appreciate all of you for just diving in and engaging with it. It sort of rings hollow to do my normal shill here at the end, but I will push through here. Please check out all of the other great shows on the Ulysses International channel. I promise some of them are happier than this one, including the Torg game. We will be back on Tuesday night with a ton of Torgy goodness. There are a ton of other great shows. Please check them out. If you like Fading Suns, please consider going out onto the Ulysses Spiel site, and these books are now available. There could be late backing still open for New Frontiers, which will cover Hardguard and Barbarian space. And if you like what they do, they have a ton of great products. They're a great company. Check them out. Follow them here on Twitch. Subscribe and follow on YouTube, social media. Every place that there is media, be social with them. They have a Discord channel that you can jump on and engage with as well. If you like what we do, please consider following us at Iconic Production. We're on Twitch on Monday nights with Becca's Call of Cthulhu game. I tend to jump on there and run just all sorts of weird things. We do Exploring Glorantha once a month, which we will be doing at the end of this month. So on that somber note, I am JM the GM. This is the amazing crew of the Oh Boy. Thank you as always to Kirk and JD for being our moderators, our producers, our chat engagement with the community, and to everyone who is watching tonight. Remember, no matter how many, I can do this, I can get through this last little bit. No matter how dark it is between the stars, the light always shines. Till next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay gaming. We will see you in a week.